Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We appreciate your viewership. Let's first of all take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and hardworking crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. Today's high 83, low 73. Just 10 degrees variance right there. Not much movement in the temperature. The water temperature at the end of the pier right now is 79. It went up 1 degree. So I was looking at it. It's been real steady for like 2 weeks now, but it did go up 1 degree. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We're looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. It's reading a 5.6. A little bit of a drop, and the Chartastic Careville 3.2. The rivers are in great shape. And take a look at the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Look at these strong tides. The high tide this morning actually high tide is going to be at lunch at 12:33. It's going out to about 11:50 tonight. So it is an ideal situation. It makes me think about I may want to go right away after the show. I mean, that's a perfect coming in strong, dropping out. I was thinking last night, this week we're blessed with all the nature's good signs around us on the river readings. They're in great shape. The tide charts are in great shape, and the weather's been just right. So it is a good time to be outdoors here. Take a look at our wind direction now. It's been, again, double figures, but I'm glad this time of year it's coming out southwest about 12, about the same thing it did yesterday. So we're in good shape as far as our weather doing outdoor activities all week long. So we got a little bit of rain sort of bouncing around, but we just keep an eye on it. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You remember yesterday we wished Mr. Buck Buchanan a happy 105th birthday, and I told you I was going to read his poem today. Let me give a bit of a history of the poem. When I interviewing for the book, going by to see people and all, and I love sitting down and talking with him. And I was sitting down and talking to him, and they to have been born in the year 1918 and be able to reflect back on that, and still can reflect back on it. I was asking him that this is before the Intercoastal Waterway was built. And here he is in West Bay, his family, some of the early settlers of that area. And he explained the house they lived in and all, and sort of just made you feel like you're back in that area. And as the kind of grown men, they went off. He had two brothers. There's three of those boys, and they went off to war and all kind of things like that, and then he all came back, and he and his brothers loved to go, and their wives would love to go camping at of all places, they loved to go camping at San Andrew State Park. It had just opened up, and there was like nobody camping there, and he told me stories there. So anyway, he lost his older brother, Jake, and he said it hit him real hard, and so he sat down and wrote a poem. And I want to share that with you, that poem, and put it in my book. And it just reflects of that day and that era and the passion these people had for each other, their family bond, and they had their love for the outdoors. And sort of it ties in with Panhandle Outdoors because a lot of us have that same passion with our friends. So I'm gonna, you can go along with me and read. I forget what page it's on in the book, but I read it again last night. It touched me when I first read it. So here we go. Okay, it won't be the same. He's talking about when losing brother Jake. In our younger days with our dad long ago, Jake, Tim, and I fished Burnt Mill Creek to Deep Bayou. Catching fish for a living was very hard. We knew each spot as our own backyard. We still visit the bay to the spots we can name, but without Jake, it won't be the same. When war came along, we volunteered our time to keep our country free from foreign crime. On land, sea, and air, we did our part. When the war was over, we made a new start. 3 brothers willingly gave our years without shame. For generations to come, we felt the same. In October, when the mullet is full of roe, the state park was our destination, and there we would go. Speckled trout, redfish, and flounder, our goal. We knew where they were in our favorite fishing hole. We still will go and do our thing, but without Jake, it won't be the same. In the winter, it was the canal and the river swamp, catching specks from the rocks, shooting squirrels from a stump. We ate what we caught as we had been told by our parents who lived in the days of old. These places are still there, and we visit without shame. But without Jake, it won't be the same. When our lives are over and the earth is made new, we'll have a new home and new friends too, sharing memories together that enrich our life. We'll all have eternity without strife. We three brothers, together again, can proclaim things are right with the world, for now it's the same. So I just thought that was a great reflection of that era, and it was a time that we just cannot imagine what they went through growing up in that era and in that area, because the situation was they lived off the land. And Mr. Buck Buchanan turned 105, and he wrote that, like I say. And I just wanted to share that with you. I think most of y'all will appreciate it, coming from that situation there. So a lot of times I'll give you a glimpse into the history of what's going on and what has been. And when you get a first-hand account like we just did, you don't get any better than that. Okay, and one thing he said too, there were no limits. I remember, I didn't put that in the book. He said there were no limits, so they just caught plenty of food, and they would eat it, and they would give some to their neighbors. Talking about fishing and all. When they went squirrel hunting, they shot enough squirrels for them and some for their neighbors. So I always thought that was what a great attitude. Okay, let's go to modern day. I've often talked on our fishing report about the St. George Island Bridge, and it's an excellent fishing bridge. I'm not talking about the main one. Okay, I'm talking about the old fishing bridge coming out of East Point. Here's a picture from it right here. This is Mike Kelly, my son. Okay, my son caught and released this 40-inch red this morning off the old bridge. Take a look at the old bridge. Off to the right is a new bridge. You see that coming in there? And this is the old bridge, and you look at the concrete, how it was built, and it's just excellent fishing. It's probably the best fishing spot as far as fishing off any piers or thing going into the our whole bay system. All right, that's a good picture there. David Rich, Weewaw IGA, opening weekend of snapper season. David loves to go down there. I don't know who he went with. He might have went and took his own, but he's got some special spots. Frank Davis, good morning. Love y'all from Howard Creek. But isn't that just a pretty slab right there? They're biting, they're biting on the river. Okay, here's Bunky Jones. This is Bobby Smith's sister-in-law. Look at the, well, here we go. What a mess of fish, Bunky Jones. Off the river. Mike McLaughlin, he's the principal at North Bay Haven Elementary School, and he's the one that got the fishing club started over there. Mike was able to go this weekend. That is a nice speckled trout. Mike McLaughlin. Good job, Mike. And let me see. Let's go ahead. We're at a breaking point. Let's go and take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I got this little video I want to show you. This is from Jerry Shores. Jerry's a retired FWC investigator. He's originally from Port St. Joe, big outdoor family. They do a lot. His son Carson was active in outdoor things, and they live, about 25 years ago, they moved to Watson Bayou, and that's down in downtown Panama City, or next to Masalina Bayou. They put us in wood duck boxes, and what I wanted to show you, they've got a situation where they were able to film a hatching of wood ducks, a little baby wood ducks, and I'm gonna see if I can get it set up and run it through right here. Let me see. All right, here we go right here. So they're hatching out. Okay, so watch, the wood duck box is on top. They've got a protector on the bottom in that situation there. So here, a couple of them already hatched out. Okay, I mean already sort of taking a flight. I already got 3 of them down there. And okay, let me go back to the very beginning. Okay. All right, here we go. I see them, they're like falling out. There's one of them right there. All right, look up top. Here comes another one. Look how far they got to fall. See that up top right there? He wants to come out. He's a little scared right now. Come on, boom, splashes. All right, there we go. Can you imagine that? I mean, here you are. Here's the world. Boom, jumping out. And just have enough faith, I guess, that mama's going to be close by. Oh, here comes another one. My mama's hanging. Look at there. She's got a couple of them already, just staying close to mama. And she knows to stay close by. All right. Now, she knows there's more coming. This is cool stuff. This is nature. Boom. All right. Where's Mama? Hey, whoa. Here we go. Boom. That was 3 of them came out. They didn't take long for them. Wow, she's got a little brood right there. Look at there. Is that not nature at its finest right here locally here in the Florida Panhandle? Actually, boom, here comes another one. That was almost tardy. Here we go. Let me get there close to my brothers and sisters. Okay, so I thought you'd appreciate that. Jerry Shores, thank you for posting it on Facebook. I just, that's cool stuff right there. Okay, let's go from cool stuff to, I was going to, we mentioned about gag grouper and it not being open during snapper season this year. Usually when we go fishing, we catch snapper and grouper, but it's not open. I was talking to Captain Billy Archer. On the way out, we go out about 2.5 to 3 hours, and we don't talk that long, but we get some good conversation going in. I get to inside scoop on some of the things he knows that I don't know. And bottom line, we were talking, I was asking about grouper. Now keep in mind, he was taking the FWC, Florida Wildlife Research Institute, researchers out and different things like that, and he's constantly going to these meetings as a captain. That's his livelihood, staying on top of everything. And he said, Coach, I asked him, I said, how's it, what's going on with gag grouper? And I remember his words, Coach, the gag grouper's in trouble. He just sort of nodded his head. I said, well, really, is it that bad? He said, it is. And I got a feeling because the last few years, we just hadn't caught very many gag grouper. And then he was telling me about it, and I have this article right here. And this month's issue, this is Woods and Water. I show you pretty regular. There it is. And guess what I got on the cover? Of course, a red snapper, but looking through it on right here, this article, I won't read the whole thing, but right here, the bottom line, the gag grouper, they're having a meeting actually this week, right now, they're meeting this week, the Gulf Council is. And basically what's going on, as Billy was explaining to me, you have to have a sustainability rate. And for the grouper, you need about a 30% reproduction rate for that group, okay, for that gag grouper. He said it started out, been 30 for a while. He said it now, they think it's down to about 3%. And that's almost the end of the species when it gets that low. It's all kind of factors. He feels like maybe the main one is us, all of us, everybody, so many people fishing. He said there's 1 million people fishing for them. And it may not be that many, but it seems like it. And it just has put intense pressure on a gag grouper. I personally, that's my favorite fish to eat, but I'm gonna feel guilty now if I catch one, but the limit has been really reduced. But this meeting right here, I mean, we're gonna have a season coming up September 1st, and it's gonna go to November the 10th. At first they had it September 1st to Christmas, to the end of the year. Now they've already acted up to November 10th, so it's gonna be a small window if you do wanna go catch gag grouper. But the biggest thing is that the situation that if the reproduction rate, they don't start reproducing about 8 or 9 years old. So you can imagine, for 8 years, chances of them being caught in the first 8 years are pretty strong, because with electronics the way they are, everybody, they're able to go to those bottoms in that particular situation. So I just wanted to share that with you. And it's not good news, but I expected this meeting now. I'm just guessing, an educated guess, that they might just put a moratorium on the gag grouper for a little while, and it's going to take. They got to put a long-range plan in. So it's a lot more serious than I originally thought. As far as I knew we weren't catching that many, but that's it. So we got to just got to do what they say on the research, and I feel strong about them having a situation where they know what's going on doing the research. Okay, let's go to. We'll talk so often on the show about pompano fishing, and it's one of my favorites, and I feel like at one time I really was an expert, but now you go to YouTube, there's about 5,245 experts that know how to catch pompano, which is fine, but it's a good tasting fish and a lot of fun to eat. I was thinking the other day, I know we're all so proud of the state record being caught here in St. Joe Bay, and I was thinking about what are some other state records at different locations, here along the coastline, even along the Atlantic coast. What are some state record pompano? So I looked it up. I want to share that with you. So, okay, let me see. I've got it. Let's go and take a break because there's a list of them. Let's take a break and we'll come back and show you. Be right back. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our first time this morning, 2:55 to 4:55, just wrapping it up. This afternoon, 3:25 to 5:25. That's ironically when that tide's getting on out of here. All right, let's take a look at these state records of different states here for the Pompano. Here's the Mississippi. I'm going to do two at a time. Mississippi Pompano state record was caught February 2002, so that's 21 years old. And it was weighed in at 4 pounds and 15.7. Jack Alexander. North Carolina was caught in 2001 by John Vickers out of Carolina Beach. This is hard to believe. They said it weighed 8 pounds. I'm going to look that up. Okay, more official. I mean, I believe that was a permit, I swear. But anyway, that's okay. We'll look it up. South Carolina. This record, folks, was 1975, 50 years ago, and that was 8 pounds, 12 ounces. I don't know. And that's a world record. Texas Pompano. Let me see. Texas is here. Here's Texas. Juan Carrillo on 2006. Laguna Madre. His was 6 pounds. This is more like 6 pounds. 6.2 ounces, 24 inches long, and that was a Texas record. That was official there for Texas. And then Virginia, Virginia's right up there by the Carolinas, and it weighed, that was 1992. That's 30 years ago. It weighed right here at 5 pounds, 10 ounces. That's more like it. They couldn't find records on Connecticut, New Jersey, and here. Check this one out. In Maryland, they did find one in Maryland in 2019. That's a 5.05 pound pompano. That's the state record there. Here's Florida. Barry Houston caught the official Florida state record pompano October the 16th. Okay, fall fishing, 1999, 24 years ago. His monster pompano was 20.5 inches. It weighed in at 8 pounds, 4 ounces, was caught in the water off Port St. Joe. So you see, this goes along right there with the others off the Carolina coast. It must have been the same species. The Georgia state record was 5 pounds, 4 ounces, and I'm not sure what part of Georgia they caught that in. But those are, wait, one more for Louisiana. This is the biggest one in the world. Okay, 1969. Once the lifetime weighed in at 8.5 pounds. That's a world record. Well, I mean, wait a minute. What was Florida's? Okay, so Florida's 1 ounce off the world record then. That's not bad, is it? Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you, all these. And to be official now, they have to be weighed on official scales and have to have biologists. So I'm not sure about that one, 1969, if they had the same regulations on that one. But anyway, I just want to share that with you. Okay, let's move on. I've been meaning to do this, the Father's Day list, because it's right around the corner, and you don't have to be a genius sort of figure this out for outdoorsmen. I mean, I put this together in a couple of minutes, and I always ask Gail, okay, and she'll list a couple things real quick, and I'll throw it out. So anyway, the top 10 things from Panhandle Outdoors for our viewers here in the Florida Panhandle, what the outdoorsmen would like for Father's Day. It'll be ideal. You don't have to get them all 10. And this is something I hadn't talked about. Number one, it just jumped up at me because I hadn't talked about it in a while. Binoculars. And I think the reason I talked about it, remember we talked, like those wood ducks, those little baby wood ducks going out, and we have a close-up of that rabbit in my yard, that I'm going to have to name him something. We may name him Jeff the rabbit, okay? But he's hanging around a lot. So we got that. Okay, so binoculars, they're cool. And they're so much, the technical aspect of binoculars is so much better than those original ones we used to, everything we put around our neck. Number two, cooking paraphernalia. And that goes along with everything, a grill, a fish cooker, a grill or disc pan. I just recently got one of those pans to cook on the grill, got a new grill, a new fish cooker. So it's, I love cooking outdoors. Number three, boat shoes. There's some nice boat shoes. You go around Blue Water's got some nice ones down there. Number four, any kind of outdoor clothing. We've talked about it yesterday. Just some nice outdoor clothing for the outdoorsmen. And also a big hat, a big sun hat. You can get a combination of these things too. All right, number 5. I always say this: Mother's Day and Father's Day, a mask and snorkel. You don't have to go scallop and just get out there and put a mask on. Look at all that stuff under there. Look at all that cool stuff there. No, I'm serious. Get out and do that kind of stuff. Number 6, and I haven't talked about this in a while. We did it for a good while when a drone. When the drones first came out, I was just so fascinated with them. I just hadn't talked much about them lately, but they're just. I've seen some great video. I mean, you can see some really good stuff. Number 7, Gail came up with this because I'm always losing mine or misplacing it. Sunglasses, good strong sunglasses. And not just one pair. You have to have a couple of pairs. You got to have one in your car, one in your truck, one at the house, one at the one in the boat. So, because this time you need it, you're gonna lose it. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Number 8, a cooler, one of those medium coolers. No, not one like that. One of those medium coolers they're making now. There's several brands that are just right. And like when we were going out on Billy Archer's boat, we all had a little medium cooler and put everything in it. So that's a good one. Number 9, how about setting up a charter fishing trip inshore? Bass fishing on Lake Seminole. There's so many captains to go out with and just give them a little certificate and get together on it. And you go with them. That'll be a memorable time. Okay. And number 10, and Gail came up with this one. The game camera is so versatile because you can put it so many. I mean, we have ours in the woods, but then sometimes in summer we'll have it at a fish camp or wherever, just in the yard. Just moving things around and sort of. That's just really interesting stuff. So that's the top 10 Father's Day gifts that recommended by the Panhandle Outdoor staff here in Fox 28. So listen, if you get a chance now, if you can't find any of that, of course, I always fall back to a gift certificate with one of our loyal sponsors, C&G, Blue Water, Weewall Wiggler, all these outdoor stores, LeBon's Lighting, okay? All right, got to run out of time. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.